Hi, I'm Gary of Tom and Gary's Decentralized Dance Party.
Welcome, Gary. Super excited to, touch base and get all the updates of what's happening with you. Really want to touch on, because I know there's a lot going on. Give us a little bit about the past, present, and the future of DDP. I know you guys started in 2009. If you have the metrics of like how many parties you hosted, what are I mean, I know you've done some amazing work, also with since COVID started, how that whole, being hosting parties in like public spaces that changed into virtual experiences. Want to touch on that. And then the future, like what you're launching next week. So welcome to the show, and yeah, tell us about DDP.
Thank you for having me. It is a long story, epic journey, but luckily we have a 1 minute encapsulation of everything.
Amazing.
This handy video right here.
Hi, I'm Gary of Tom and Gary's Decentralized Dance Party. For 10 years, we hosted gigantic open source parties all over the world. We did this using an FM radio transmitter to broadcast out to hundreds of boomboxes, creating a mobile, synchronized sound system. These parties completely transform public space, allowing total strangers to instantly connect on a deep human level. Our ultimate goal was always to host a simultaneous global party that would unite the world in celebration and earn us the Nobel Peace Prize. When the pandemic canceled everything, we began hosting virtual parties and quickly realized that by linking giant portable speakers to our virtual world, we could now create mixed reality global celebrations. The pandemic had revealed the key to uniting the world. This film will chart the trials and triumphs leading to a Nobel Prize-worthy celebration.
The party revolution needs you.
I love it. That was amazing. So tell us a little bit like about how this transition happened. When COVID hit, what did you do? What was that? What was that like? What was that transition like? And what I love and appreciate about you is that how you're very experiential. You're always experimenting and improvising and doing things. So what has all that experimentation, the result of all that experimentation, has got you to where you are now?
Yeah, so we did these parties in the streets for a decade before the pandemic hit, and we always had our eye on doing a simultaneous global party. And we're sort of experimenting here and there with technology. We always thought virtual parties didn't sound very cool or very much fun, but when the pandemic hit, we didn't really have a choice, so just jumped in and started experimenting with those, and we learned on Zoom it's pretty cool. I don't know if I have the access, but it's all about the spotlight. So you see a lot of virtual parties, it's just a stream of a DJ turning knobs or whatever, and to me that's very not exciting or something I want to tune into. But with the parties, the way we've done them on Zoom is it's all about the participants. So it's all about spotlighting people and giving them, like, that's their moment on stage. People get super hyped up when they can see each other, and now with the latest versions of Zoom you can have 4 people at once. And we realized too that it's kind of this new form. My friend calls it human jockeying. So instead of just DJing, you're actually hosting the party, playing music, and you're like putting people up on screen at the same time. And super rad because it can be anyone, anywhere, all over the world. We just did a party with this super cool group that we're part of, Co-Reality Collective, where it was a New Year's party that went all around the globe, and we celebrated every countdown in every single time zone.
So tell me about that, because that platform looked amazing. What was that platform you were on?
In the video,
No, for the New Year's. I remember So I don't know, there was a platform, maybe it was like the Burning Man platform that you get to, it was sort of, you would see an island and, what was that the platform that you were using?
Yeah, it's called Sparkleverse. It's this new open source software that my friends built. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's basically an interactive map. So it's kind of like a little village on your computer screen. And then in that, they used it for, it was one of the Burning Man universes in the multiverse. And it
Mhm.
lets anyone create a camp. And then you can navigate around it on walking or on a bike. And then you can plug in Zoom rooms or anything you want, digital art. So basically a really cool platform you can navigate. And yeah, we've been doing these parties together since April and realized that this is kind of like a whole new reimagining of like what a social network is.
Mhm.
But it's all open source, so it's not some extractive project with just a few shareholders at the top. It's just built by people who want to hang out together and love creating and expressing. And so yeah, we're calling it a new social network based on love, which perfectly aligns with what we're doing with the parties. So
I love it. And did you try other platforms like Twitch or other platforms just to see what did you find? Were you on Twitch at all?
no, I haven't used Twitch. As far as I know, it's just kind of a one-way platform. Like,
Mhm.
we started on Zoom, and it's so far it's the perfect platform for hosting parties. Like the audio quality is great, and it's just all about getting people to set up like the virtual backgrounds. You can get all the crazy Snapchat
Mhm.
filters and totally customize it. So
So in the past, how were you? I know that you would fly into different cities. How are you funding these parties in the past? And what is your plan for the future?
yeah, it's been a very interesting conundrum because these parties aren't necessarily legal to be doing. You're supposed to have a permit for pretty much anything elaborate that you do in public. And the way we do this is basically we have a starting point, hand out the boom boxes, and then we map out the route in advance. But we'll have hundreds of boom boxes, thousands of people, and it's kind of this spontaneous roaming party adventure. So there's
Hmm.
no way to really get a permit for something like that. And if you can't have a permit, you can't have a sponsor because no one wants the liability. So we've
How
got,
long does it take to get a permit usually for your parties?
I don't know, we've never had one.
Oh, you said, oh, sorry, you said you never had a permit. Okay, gotcha. They were just sort of like people were supporting you because I know RCMP and everyone, they were just very supportive, right?
Yeah, it's been amazing how, like, we always thought the police were going to shut us down, but we always showed up with a good attitude, very respectful, and wearing ridiculous bright costumes and putting off a good vibe. So pretty much every single party, almost 100 parties we've done now, they just have showed up and gave us an escort through the city, which is just this amazing, beautiful
That's amazing.
phenomenon.
And
But
how are you funding some of these parties in the past?
we've done crowdfunding as much as possible,
Mhm.
decentralized fundraising, and just donations. Had some nice crypto donations over the years, and this whole thing is supposed to be an embodiment of open source decentralization, new
Mhm.
forms of social organizing based on intentions of community and togetherness. So yeah, it's been an amazing thing to be a part of, and
I love it. Tell me a little bit about the decentralized crowdfund platform that you're working on, Swarm, is that right?
um, so we've had this idea for winning the Nobel Prize for partying for many years now. We feel like it takes a long time to, like, you have to really experience one of these things to see, but it's kind of like this joy riot, joy mob where everyone is just instantly connected. No ego, no inhibitions, just on the same fun party level. And we figure if we can do this, like, we figure this thing has the potential to stop wars and stop
Yeah.
conflict based on a really amazing story. Most people have probably heard is the Christmas truce of 1914, World War I, where the Germans and British were having trench warfare, and then they started singing and a party broke out, and basically people who were like mortal enemies all of a sudden were partying together. So we do figure that it's possible to wage peace with these new sound systems. So we had an idea for, instead of selling war bonds as governments used to do to raise money for a war, we would sell peace bonds, $1 million
Love it.
worth of peace bonds to raise the money to do a world tour and activate people globally to do these parties. And that was about 7 years ago. And now finally there's this really cool new technology called NFTs, non-fungible tokens, that it's really taken off. So I have
Tell us about it.
some of the art here for, this is the $100 peace bond.
Oh, amazing.
And my friend Tana made the art. Really great.
Beautiful. I couldn't agree with you more about, if all the leaders of the world, they get together, they would do a, psychedelic journey together and join one of your parties, then we wouldn't be in this mess.
I agree. And yeah, these parties are kind of a psychedelic journey. And
Yeah.
we have a whole party manifesto that's all about how you create an awesome enough party atmosphere, then the party itself can release you from your inhibitions. You might not even need the psychedelic assistance.
Yeah, that's what I heard from your, so that it's not a party where people do drugs or alcohol. You just, it's people just show up and
Yeah.
having a good time.
Yeah, that's the goal, and that's why this has worked out for 11
You're
years.
just being state. You don't really need some sort of something external to change your state. You just show up, and that's like the energy of the people, and everyone is like partying, and it's amazing, a good time. So tell us about the yeah. So where are you taking this now?
Well, the plan is to launch the peace bonds. We got an opportunity to do the DDP at ETH Denver, Ethereum Denver conference, which I think is pretty much the preeminent crypto conference, and they have a huge section that's all about NFTs and digital art. So the plan is to launch there, and hopefully we'll sell enough peace bonds to raise what we need to get the documentary finished. And then the documentary tells the DDP story, and it's a call to action to activate as many people as possible around the world, and hopefully complete the peace bond sale, and then fulfill the message in this quote here, which has been very inspiring for us. And I think, yeah, as dismal and crazy as the world might look, like the open source revolution and all these new sound system technologies, like, I think these are the means to organize as effectively as those who love war. Finally, we have these tools.
Yeah, I love your mission, and I'm wondering, how much do you need to finish the documentary? Do you have a number in mind?
Still finalizing the budget, but probably about 150K USD. I think we've raised somewhere around 40 so far, just starting out. So
And where can our community contribute to this fund?
they go to theddp.com, theddp.com. You can find all the info there. And yeah, the plan with these peace bonds, we're still figuring out exactly how it's going to work, but it's really cool how these NFTs function. Like, it's a digital token, so you can receive airdrops. So the idea is that once we win this Nobel Peace Prize, which is about $1 million, everyone gets paid back. But just by holding these NFTs, like, some of these things are that started out worth hardly anything, now they've appreciated in value to like $100,000. So these are going to be very special, unique pieces of digital art and also physical art that you can print out. And now they have picture frames for NFTs. And yeah, the NFT world, I've just been learning about it the last couple weeks, exploring. It's like,
I got to learn more about that. I really got to look into that for sure.
yeah, that could be a whole show in itself. It's
Yeah, I would love to
amazing.
dive in a little bit more into it and figure out like where do you start with that? What was your starting point and how did you come across this?
I guess, I was sort of aware of it as I've been deep in the crypto scene for a long time. Didn't think too much about it. I was always really into the idea of tokenization, which is like you can have fractional ownership of basically anything now, like a house, a road, someone's education, like everything in the world can be broken into an infinite number of tokens, and then anyone anywhere can invest in any idea and receive dividends back from it. So I was aware of that, but didn't really think too much about NFTs as like tokenized art, but it's like completely changes everything in terms of like copyright and digital ownership of anything digital or physical. Like any artist can create a limited edition of like a physical image or a song or a movie. Anything can be an NFT or be broken into thousands of pieces and then instantly licensed all over the world without any intermediary company to take a profit. So it's a way to directly connect people, and you can cut out all the
Mhm.
centralized payment processors too. So
Yeah, well, that's the future, right? I
I
love
hope
it.
so.
I love to learn more about it and see how I can incorporate it too into my business. So definitely, I know you have a lot of knowledge in that area. I'm just going to pause here. There's a lot more questions, but I'm just going to open it up to Reza and Colin and our guests to see if they have any questions for you. Colin, I believe you have a question.
Yeah, well, this is amazing, Gary. What you're doing here, and it so aligns with our kind of our values and our why with Startup Vancouver, but taking it to that next global level, right? We're all about love, kindness will prevail, and will always defeat hatred, ignorance, and disrespect. And what you're doing here, it excites me. And seeing that you've been on this journey for over 10 years, I love your first video actually was using an iPod that you're changing the volume. That's proof of how long you've been at this, even pre iPhone. So it's almost like you. I wouldn't say in this game too early, probably just at the right time, but it almost seems the last 10 years has been your warm-up act, and now you're ready to take this like next level and beyond. So what's the thing that most excites you over the next couple of years to kind of get to that global level with the DDP?
I guess it's going to be exciting to finally get this documentary done. Been trying to make it for about 8 years now, and it's a long story. There's like 3,000 hours of footage, but yeah, I've been a filmmaker most of my life and love telling stories and really want to tell this story. And I think it has the power to really inspire a huge shift in the world. So just to have that together and be able to share that and lead with it, because this is a very strange, unique, unprecedented thing that we've been experimenting with and putting together. It really needs a good pitch behind it so people can get on board, and it's never had that. So it'll be exciting to finally get that done and get that out there.
Absolutely. And they say in entrepreneurship, timing is everything. You can have the team, you can have the idea, the ability to execute, but seems like the planets are aligning on timing. And the fact you and Tom, obviously the other half of Tom and Gary's dance party, or sorry, decentralized dance party, is making this happen. So we definitely have to have you back in whatever 6 months, a year, to get another check-in to see where you are and how you progress with this. So hey, Gary, want to thank you for this today. Hey, Reza, I'd like you to jump in, but we do have to be respectful of time. We want to get Keith on here. Sure. So why don't you just hang on to any questions that you have here. Miriam, thanks so much for leading that conversation. And Gary, that's awesome. Amazing. And thanks for sharing the love. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And yeah, one last thought was just that it's great that we've never compromised on the vision so far. Like, we've been approached by MTV and other people, and we've always wanted to keep this open and decentralized and copyright free, available to everyone. So
Love that.
For
Love
keeping
that.
it real.
the means is now there.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Cool. Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. You are welcome.